Hello, welcome to episode 21 of Novel Knits. My name is Danelle, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about what I'm knitting and what I'm reading and anything else going on that happens to come up while we're chatting together. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've had some new subscribers, so thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. I'm so glad that you're all here and that you like to talk about knitting and yarn as much as I do. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Novel Knit Girl. I have a group on Ravelry called Novel Knits Podcast Group where I have threads for the two make-alongs that I'm hosting. And yeah, let's get into it. I am coming to you as always from my basement in southeastern Wisconsin where I live with my husband, my daughter who's 14, my son who's 11, and our dog Penelope, as well as our betta fish, Aang. He's really my daughter's, but I have kind of wrapped him in. So welcome. I'm really, really excited to talk to you today. I have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try to go quickly. I am hosting two make-alongs this year. Hopefully you've heard about them and you're participating. The first one is Sweater Year 2022, where basically I have a goal of knitting as many sweaters as I can this year. So I am hoping that some of you will join me in that. I am very loose on my make-alongs, at least for right now. This one, any sweater counts. It can be for a baby, a child, an adult, a dog, a cardigan, pullover, short sleeve, long sleeve. I cut it off at like tank tops. Tank tops don't count, but anything that has sleeves or is sweater-esque feeling, that works. And probably not vests, although I'm having a big moment for vests. I think I have like 5 that I want to make, and I have never worn a vest in my life, but I'm definitely feeling the vest vibe right now. So maybe next year will be a vest along. We'll see. Or maybe I'll be done hosting make-alongs. But I do have the next quarter drawing coming up. So if you are working on a sweater, you've got until probably like June 15th to get it posted either on Instagram with the hashtags or on Ravelry in the group. And yeah, the prize this quarter for Sweater Year 2022 is going to be this awesome skein of Magpie fibers. This is their swanky sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 400 yarns for 115 grams. And it's called Stitch Please, and it is just so pretty. I love this. I have to admit, this is from my stash, and I'm a little loath to give it away, but I also think it's like the most perfect giveaway prize that I could come up with because it's so great. I think if I was in a make-along, I would want to win this. The other make-along that I have going on is Shop Your Stash 2022, and this is open. Oh, and I should say the Sweater Year is open to knitting and crochet. So if you do one or both, feel free to enter the make-along. The other one that I'm hosting is Shop Your Stash 2022, and that is just what it sounds like. Let's use the yarn that we purchased prior to January 1st, 2022. So anything that you make, I mean, knitting, crocheting, of course, but if you're a multi-crafter, cross-stitch embroidery is also involved. Making pom-pom wreaths is allowed. Macrame, I don't know why I always say macrame. I don't know how many real macrameers there are out there, but you're welcome. Sewing is welcome. Anything where you're using old stash is great. I think I cut it off at cooking. I don't think I want you using your stash for cooking, but anything else is great. So, and you can double dip. So if you make a sweater out of stash, you can put it in both make-alongs. And if you want to, if it works in anybody else's make-alongs, go ahead and enter it in both places. Double dipping is great with me. I love it. I love when I can do it in multiple threads. So I love to give that gift to you as well. And the prize for Shop Your Stash for the next quarter is going to be, I will gift you a pattern from either Ravelry or any other website that allows me to gift a pattern up to $10. So either way, win-win, I think. Both things, I'm always shopping for patterns. So getting a free one is always exciting. And it doesn't have to be a sweater pattern. It can be any pattern that you've been eyeing for a while. So Vital Few, I have been really, really busy lately. I'm exhausted. My kids have been keeping us crazy. we're in crazy baseball right now. Yesterday morning, we were at 2 games about 45 minutes away, and the boys won the first game, and then they had a tough loss the second game. And so it's a tournament, so we had to come back today. And if they won this morning, we would have had to go back at 3:30 and then maybe at 5:45. And then they ended up losing. And, you know, it's tough to watch when they beat themselves, you know, when you know that they're a better team than what they did. But I don't know. It was still nice being outside, and I got some knitting done, and I don't hate the other parents at baseball, so it's good. And then my daughter turned 14, so she's going into high school next year. And last week was a really big week for her. She had high school dance team tryouts, which is the POMS team. And so it was Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for 2 hours. So they had to like do skills, and they were judged, and they had to learn 2 routines. And we thought she had a pretty good shot, and she did make it. So that was great. So she found out Friday at 4 o'clock, and she had to be in a dance recital at 6 o'clock. So it was very busy, and I'm exhausted. I just really want to take a nap at some point. But yeah, so we've been really, really, really busy with our kids. I want to get into my garden and start my gardening. 2 summers ago, I did a flower patch. My husband and my dad made me a 3-tiered raised garden bed, and I had this idea that I was going to do strawberries. I was going to have a strawberry patch, and it was going to be my favorite thing. And the first year I was too late, so I ended up planting flowers, and they brought me so much joy. And then last year I planted strawberries, and wouldn't you know, that didn't bring me any joy. So this year I'm going back to making that a flower bed, and I just want the flowers and the pretty, and I just feel like I need that more in my life. And then I have 3 raised garden beds that my dad made for me a few years ago, where I'm going to be planting like bush beans and maybe some pea pods, peppers, those type of things that grow well in a raised garden bed. And then I have some deep pots that I'll be putting some tomatoes in. And then my husband is going to till. We have 2 vacant lots next to us. They're for sale, but they have been for about 4 years. And we used to have a shed that was on that lot line, and we took the shed down and built a new one. But so now that there's no one moving in anytime soon, I think we're going to till that area up, and I'm going to plant like my cucumbers and my squash there, the things that like really grow out, just so they don't kill other stuff in my other garden beds, because that's something I've been struggling with lately. The last couple of years is having enough space. So until they build a house next to us, we're gonna just use that space for now. But yeah, that was a lot about gardening. I didn't realize that was so much on my mind, but I'm really excited to start gardening soon. Okay, well, let's get into finished objects. My daughter Claire turned 14, and I finished the Wonderland socks for her by Tabitha Gandee. These are knit toe up with this really beautiful slip stitch patterning that goes all the way up, and it has a true afterthought heel, which I did struggle with a little bit. I thought I was better at afterthought heels than this experience. Like, you can kind of see where I had to fudge things here a little bit. I did the Judy's Magic super stretchy, whoever's super stretchy bind off, and I didn't love it, but now that my daughter's worn them a few times, it doesn't look quite as bad. And yeah, the yarn I used is Midknit Cravings Lush 4-ply fingering in the Parasol color, and this really isn't a sock yarn, and you can see it's sort of pilling a little bit. I don't know if you can see. But she's worn these like 5 times, and honestly, the pilling is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I just recently took her in for a physical, and she is 5'8". I'm 5'7", so she's officially taller than me, and her feet are exactly the same size as mine right now, size US women's 8.5, and I don't know if her feet are done growing. So there's a chance these could be for me in the future, but they turned out really great. I'm happy with them. I was nervous about doing the afterthought heel, but I did enjoy knitting toe up, so I think I'll do that again. I think I will definitely knit toe up, doing an afterthought heel again. But overall, these are just gorgeous, and I'm really happy with them. And she loves them. When you have a 14-year-old daughter who's very picky, you'll take the win, right? So she loves them, and I'm happy she loves them. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break because my dog has to go for a walk, and then I'll be back to talk about my works in progress. My first work in progress is my Rocket Tee, which is a pattern by Tanis Lavallee, and I'm using yarn from Tanis Fiber Arts. It is the pre-wash fingering and mohair, both in the Deep Space colorway, and it's coming along really well. So here it is. So I have run out of mohair, and I was really disappointed because I was really on a roll with this. Like, this was gonna be done for this recording. And I was able to order another skein, which is great. It has shipped. It's coming from Canada, so I don't know how quickly it'll get here. I did the lovely yarn overs on the sleeve, but I did not choose to do them on the body. And then I was kind of looking at the pattern because I was like, why did I run out of yarn? Did I get the wrong kit when I ordered it? Did I choose the wrong size? And when I casted this on, I held my mohair double. And nowhere in the pattern does it say to hold your mohair double. So the good news is I don't think you can see through it. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed with myself because I ended up buying another skein of yarn that maybe I wouldn't have had to buy if I would have read the pattern. I definitely wouldn't have had to buy it if I would have read the pattern. So a little disappointed in myself, but I still love it, and it's gonna be a great sweater no matter what. And the thing I love about this colorway is it's so subtle that, I mean, you can't really see the pops of color, but then when you see them, it's just really great. My stitches are really sloppy on this. I haven't done a lot of just knitting with mohair on mohair before, so I'm hoping it all blocks out really nicely. But yeah, it's great. I'm sorry. Here is yeah, you can kind of see some of the specks of color. As you'll see, I really like dark, moody colors, which right now I have like almost too much of it that I'm gonna try to break out of that soon, but this is a beautiful moody color, and I think this will work great for the fall, so maybe the double mohair is a good thing. And this is in a bag by Mrs. Brown's Bags. I knew it was, and so I don't know why I checked the tag, but I just wanted to be sure. Okay, my second work in progress is my Reluctant Homeschooler. It's way over here, by Caitlin Hunter, and this is coming along really well. I am using Knit Picks, City Tweed, and Obsidian. And when I showed it last time, I showed you my pockets, and when I stretched them a little bit, you could see right through them. So I decided to rip out what I had done and start over holding the yarn double. So this is another case where I didn't think I was gonna have enough yarn, so I ordered a few more balls of this City Tweed just to make sure. And now they don't have quite as much give. They're a little thicker, and I'm a lot happier with this fabric. The gauge now is a little bit big, so I went down to size 1. I've never knit a size 1, but I think this will work because it's a very oversized, bulky weight cardigan. So here are my pockets, and then I have 2 sleeves. And I did add 1.5 inches to 2 inches per sleeve. So I hope that they're long enough, but this is a really stretchy yarn. It's got a lot of give, so I think like it'll block big if I want it to. I don't know that I've ever used this yarn before. I've used a lot of Knit Picks, but not necessarily this. And then this is where I'm at right now with the body. So I probably done like 12 inches. And like, I can wrap this around my body. So that's why I think that this gauge and this size is gonna work. All set. So it's coming along. I think I'm getting close to attaching the sleeves, and then it'll feel more like a sweater, and I think I'll be enjoying working on it a little bit more at that point in time. I am using, to hold my stitches, pony bead lacing, which everybody in the knitting world is talking about because it works really, really well. It's super cheap and it works great. I also have some barber cords from the Knitting Barber, and those work really well too. It's just that you get a lot less for more money. So for less money, you get more of these pony bead lacing cords, and they work super well. So either way you go, I mean, I'd like to have multiple because I have multiple projects that I want to be using them for. But if you are a more monogamous knitter, maybe just getting one set would be just fine. I think you do what works for you, and I have them both. So I can verify that both are great. So this is coming along. It's all in pieces right now. So I'm excited for it to start turning into a little bit more of a sweater. And in case you're wondering, this is the yarn. And yeah, it's coming along great. I'm really happy with it. I have a lot of works in progress, so I am trying to go a little bit faster because I've had to record this more times than I care to admit because of issues. All right. I did start a new sweater. I was going to cast on the Miserina, which I am in the middle of swatching for. And this one just sort of fell into my lap. I wasn't planning to cast this on. In fact, I was going to destash this yarn, and then I just decided to pick it up and start knitting with it. And I did. So I started the Hug You Me Shrug by Laura Nelkin. This I purchased on Craftsy many moons ago when they used to still sell yarn and kits. And so it was a kit. It came with a printed pattern and the yarn, and it's been in my stash for a long time because black yarn does not always call to me, but clearly right now dark colors are calling to me. So I casted it on, and you start in the middle and work out. I've never done this construction before. It's really fun. I mean, I guess I must have, like for an ornament, but not for like a garment. So I'm really happy with this. It's great. I have one little mistake, which I can point out to you. Can you see that? I think I knit through the back loop on one of my yarn overs and got this kind of wonky thing. But you know what? This is gonna be on my back and it's not that bad and nobody's going to see it. So that's gonna stay between you and me. And I just threw this on some more pony bead lacing, and I didn't cut it because I wanted to show you how much you can get. I mean, I have like 4 colors that are all this long. So it's a really good value. And because I just threw this on here to show you guys today, how this looked. So, but you can cut it and make it all different lengths. It's really a great tool. And I'm not really a tips and tricks kind of person on my YouTube channel. So, you know, if I'm showing you something, it must be good. But yeah, this is coming along. I'm really enjoying it. It like is hitting something I needed. I think having the yarn overs and having a different construction has just been a lot of fun right now. So here's the yarn. It's just black. It's great. Yeah, that was kind of a surprise cast on, but as I mentioned in my last episode, I'm sort of letting yarn dictate my next project more than anything else. And I wanted to work with this. Weird that I want to work with black yarn in summer, but it's happening. Okay, I have another new cast on. I guess I have 3 new casts on this week because I can't ever stop. My friend Julie has a birthday coming up, and she is very knit-worthy. I've made her a pair of socks before, and she loves them, and I decided to make her another pair of socks for her birthday. So the yarn I'm using is Lolo Did It in her Low Original base, and this is You Look Beautiful Baby, which is, I believe, a Walking Dead reference, but I kind of stopped watching it after it went from people killing zombies to people killing people, but I did really like that show for a long time. And this is just a beautiful textured sock. It's called the Wish You Were Here sock. by the kitchen sink, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, so even better. And Julie has teeny tiny little feet, so she wears a US women's size 6.5, so I love making Julie socks. She can have as many socks as she wants. So, and then the nice thing about this pattern that keeps it kind of interesting is, I mean, I could just do the same thing for sock number 2, but for the right sock, you have the lace panel going down the right side, and the left sock, it goes down the left side. So they're kind of mirror image socks, and I don't think I've ever made a pair like that before. So I'm pretty excited. The yarn, in case you want a closer look at it, is here. Lolo did it. They're good at their yarn. The evenness, there's never pooling. I've never had a Lolo Did It yarn pool. It's really good. I'm always impressed. And she's got like a whole team now. It's good stuff. And this is in this new bag by Jessalyn Janice. And it's just the cutest little scrappy sock bag with this faux leather bottom, and I love it. And I'm gonna show you another one of their bags right now. So this other Jessalyn Janice bag, which is probably my favorite, and these are really affordable. I jumped on the Outstanding bandwagon. So this is a shawl pattern by Christy Archer Designs, and yeah, this is a knit along going on right now by Knitting Natty and the Yarnia Yarn Shop in New Jersey. And I did purchase a kit for this. It wasn't, I mean, I'm not allowed to buy yarn, even though I'm trying to stash down. Could I have found yarn in my house? Yes, but when I saw this kit, this is what I wanted. So the yarn that I purchased is from Daisy Stitch Yarn Co., I believe. Yes. And it's in the Texas Strong Fingering base. And my main color is just this great neutral. It's like a beige. And then hopefully you saw in the picture, there's some color work on the near the bottom, and this is the color work, and then this is my edging color. And if you know me, these colors are just so me. Here we go. This is my palette for sure. So when I saw the yarn, I saw the kit knit up, and I thought that's what I want. So if I was gonna make this shawl, I wanted to make it in the yarn I wanted to make it with. So here's where I'm at. I think the knit along goes until the end of May. So I have a few more weeks. Right now it's just this gorgeous textured body. And then I think I have, it's like a 4-row repeat. I think I have to do it 3 more times, and then I get to get into the color work section, which I believe is slipped stitches. And I'm really looking forward to getting into that, because if you've noticed, I'm working with a lot of dark colors. So I'm looking forward to some color, even though it's not super bright. I'm looking forward to using some color, and that'll be really fun. And then I will do my edging, and then I will be done. So I don't know that I'll finish this by the end of the month, because I really would like to finish Julie's socks, and once I get the yarn for the Rocket Tee and the Reluctant Homeschooler, like there's other things I would like to finish more. And this is a really, I'm not entering this one like really officially. I just wanted to knit along as well. So it's coming along nicely, and I'm really happy with it. Okay, last one. This is in a bag by Chestnut Fibers, she has great bags. I believe she still has an Etsy shop, and I just love this. I'll try to remember to link shops below as well for any bags I talk about in case you're interested. I never know like what you guys want more information on, so just let me know. So I am making the Musselburgh hat. This is my second Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Art Show Stealer in the Heathers colorway. So again, this is quite similar to that Deep Space colorway. but brighter. The pops are more neon and a little bit more bright. So the last time I showed this, I still had the belly button cast on that I'd used in there, the waist yarn. So I did take that out and sew up the top, which I think turned out really nicely. And then this has been my baseball knitting. So I did my increases and now I just knit for like 20 inches and then I start to decrease. So I don't think I'm quite halfway yet, but I think after a couple more baseball games I will be. And this is coming along great. All right, book club, let's get into it. I did finish The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, and I will say it had like a short period of like focused action. I understood what we were doing. It was going well, and then the book ended. I generally didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. The ending that I was looking forward to was pretty much a letdown. I didn't love it. I don't know if I'm gonna, I mean, if I'm honest with myself, I'll probably read the next book because it's crossing over with my favorite series, but I don't enjoy it. And I wish Sarah J. Maas would just kind of go back to basics and stop with the 50 Shades of Grey stuff and focus on her story writing again and creating her characters, because I do feel that these characters are just not my favorite. So I'm going to move on from that. I didn't love it. I also finished People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and this I gave 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed this. I think I was just in the mood for this kind of light read, but this would be a fantastic summer read if you're on a beach or at a pool or at baseball field while the kids are warming up. This is an excellent summer read. The characters were very likable. Their story was very relatable, and I enjoyed it. It hit me at the right time, especially after that Sarah J. Maas book. I was like, this is what I wanted. This was good. A very light friendship-y, romancy thing that you're satisfied with the story ending. So it was wonderful. I also finished The Awakening by Nora Roberts. I gave it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. The writing was pretty good. I listened to it on Audible. There was a little disconnect between, it was either the narrator or some of the dialogue. And what it was is it just didn't feel natural to me. Like, I didn't look into Nora Roberts. I know she's been around for a long time, but it did feel sometimes like maybe it was an older woman trying to create dialogue for a 20-something, and it just didn't translate especially well. And I felt like the narrator didn't make it better. So I'm going to continue with that series. There's one more book that's out, I think, called Becoming, and then I think there's a 3rd book coming out soon, I think. I loved the beginning of the book, even though it was pretty slow to get into like what's happening. It's this woman young 20-something woman who has a job she hates in New York City, and her gay best friend roommate and her have a really sweet relationship, and then they work at this bar that's a drag bar and drag queens, and so she's got this great like alternative family because her mother's very difficult, and then she sort of goes to Ireland to explore her dad's heritage and figure out what happened to her father, and then things become magical. It's definitely got fantasy in it, and sometimes I think it worked well and sometimes I feel like it didn't, but the character in the story is compelling enough that I'm going to keep going with the series for at least one more book. I also finished It Starts With Food by Dallas and Melissa Hartwig. I won't talk about this for very long because I know this is not something that everybody's interested in. Funnily enough, this is the 2nd time I read this book, and I didn't remember reading it in the past. I did, so these are the people that do the Whole 30. And I did the Whole 30 one time a few years ago, and I think I lasted to day 8. It did not go great. I've been having a lot of trouble with migraines and vertigo, and I felt like It Starts With Food. There's something to that for someone like me. I just feel like things are really out of balance, and it makes sense in a way. So I'm trying the Whole 30 again. I will say I don't love their voices. They narrated the audiobook, and sometimes they come across very condescending, which I don't love. I don't believe they're still married anymore, so I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. But the concepts they make sense to me. I'm trying it again. I'm on day 3 right now. I'm hoping to make it past day 8, however long that is. But it's an interesting process, and it's not something I'm particularly happy to be doing, but I really, especially the vertigo, a lot of people say like, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Well, if I had a worst enemy, this is what I would wish on them. Vertigo. It is the worst thing in the world. It's the worst feeling in the world, and I hate it. So I'm trying to eliminate that from my life. I felt like I had to justify myself to you, but yeah, so that's a journey I'm on, and hopefully it won't last for very long, and I'll get kind of reset and get back to normal. I'm currently reading Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I'm back with Colleen Hoover, you guys. One of the main reasons I chose this book is it's on Audible, and it was only 9 hours long, and some of my other options were like over 15, and I wanted something a little bit quicker right now. The thing I like about Colleen Hoover's books is she gets right into it. You know who your character is, who they're dealing with, like within the first couple pages, you kind of know what's happening. This is definitely a steamy, I think it's going to be a steamy book. So I'm hoping I like it. I've had like weird feelings about her books, and I keep reading them because I must be enjoying them, or I think I enjoyed them enough that I keep thinking there's got to be one of them out there that's like the perfect fit for me. So I'm reading that. I'm not particularly far right now, but I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far. And then I'm also reading The Magic Hour by Kristen Hanna, and this is going slow. I think it's been 3 weeks since I saw you guys last, and I had started this, and I'm on page 46. I like Kristen Hanna's books, and I'm gonna give this 2 more weeks, and if I don't make some headway, we're gonna skip this one. My mom gave it to me, and she said, yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites, so I'll see. Once I know what's happening, I'll tell you, but I've been falling asleep pretty much every night trying to read a couple pages. It's just not happening right now. So anyway, I just wanted to close by, if you hung on this long, saying thank you again for hanging out with me today and checking out what I have been working on. I hope to have some more finished objects next time. I would love to see the sweaters that you're working on. So you can even use the Sweater Year 2022 hashtag just on Instagram, even if it's not finished. I would love to see what you guys are working on. I love when you guys post in the Ravelry group because it's just so inspiring, and I love seeing what you guys are working on. Please keep participating, and I will draw prizes in June. I'm going to try to sneak in here again before I draw prizes. I know I was a little late this time. And I apologize if I was a little funky today. I'm very tired from baseball weekend, but I wanted to get this episode recorded and out to you all. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.